What makes you grow old is not the wrinkles, not the number of years, but the moment you stop dreaming, the moment you stop creating what you love. At 50, 60, or even 70, you can still start again if your heart still longs for it. And you are watching Next Chapter 50, where the second half of life becomes a brand new beginning. David, 59 years old, once believed he was truly old, convinced that age had stolen his vitality and the most energetic years of his life. For a long time, he lived with constant joint pain, inflammation throughout his body, and fatigue so heavy that even the smallest task felt like a burden. Each morning when he woke, his legs felt heavy, his hips ached, and his mind was sluggish. He thought it was simply the price to pay for age and past lifestyle choices, that he had no option but to accept this decline. But one day, David decided he would no longer surrender to that fate. He began paying close attention to what he ate, to his daily habits, and to the way he treated his body. Step by step, he changed his diet, removed foods that fueled inflammation, and added the nutrients his body truly needed. Slowly, his body began to respond. The pain eased, stiffness faded, and his steps grew lighter. His breathing deepened, his sleep improved, and with each passing day, he felt himself getting stronger. The strength he once believed lost forever was returning, and with it came a renewed confidence. Beyond diet, David also transformed the way he lived. He spent less time sitting still and complaining, and more time working with his hands, moving his body, and challenging himself with practical tasks, building and creating. Every project he completed brought not only satisfaction, but also proof that he was still capable, that age had not stolen his ability to take charge of his own life. He realized he was not truly old, that 59 was just a milestone and not an ending. Now David feels more energetic than he had in over 20 years. Instead of giving in and living in fear of aging, he chose to rise, to build, to dream, and to create the things that gave him joy. He understands that a person only becomes old when they stop dreaming and stop acting. For David, 59 is not the end of a story, but the beginning of a new chapter, one where he still has many years ahead to write his life with strength, passion, and courage. Michael, 61 years old, once believed that age had stolen all his vitality and the strength he once had. For many years, he lived with constant joint pain, endless fatigue, and a mindset of resignation. Each morning, when he woke, his legs felt heavy, his hips ached, and his spirit was weighed down as if old age itself were pressing on his shoulders. But one day, after changing his diet and daily habits, Michael began to notice his body responding differently. His sleep became deeper, his breathing felt lighter, and the pain that had once dominated his life slowly began to fade. The strength he thought was gone forever returned, and he realized he was not nearly as old as he had once believed. At that very moment, he made an important decision. Looking around his yard and home, he saw his woodworking tools scattered and stored outside, exposed to the rain or hastily hidden whenever the weather turned bad. He knew he needed a space of his own, a place large enough to hold wide boards, to set up his saw, to build sturdy shelves, and to move freely while working. Instead of sitting idly and waiting for old age to arrive, Michael decided he would build a new woodworking shop for himself. This decision did not come from financial need, but from his desire to continue creating, to keep working with his hands, and to live in harmony with what he loved. To him, every hammer strike, every cut of wood was not just the making of something tangible, but also a way to keep his heart and spirit young. Michael sat down and carefully drew up the design for his shop. He imagined where each tool would go, where the shelves would stand, and where the large workbench would sit. He measured, chose the materials, and planned the construction step by step. He knew there would be challenges, that his body might not be as flexible as before, that aches and pains might slow him down. But instead of fearing these obstacles, he chose to face them, because for him, every brick laid and every piece of wood raised was proof that he still had strength, that he was still alive with energy and purpose. Michael understood that a person only truly grows old when they stop dreaming and stop acting. At 61, he did not see this as an ending, but as a new beginning, a chapter he would write with his own hands, filled with strength, passion, and courage. If you enjoyed this video, press subscribe. If not, press like. Many people after the age of 50 often tell themselves that their health no longer allows them to do what they want, that age has already closed the door on possibilities. They use this as a reason to sit still, to complain, and to let time slip away in slowness and sadness. But the truth is different. It is not age that makes the body weak. It is the act of giving up, the habit of constant complaining, and the choice to remain idle that accelerate decline. The human body has an incredible ability to adapt and recover, but it only shows when we are willing to stand up and take action. Sometimes those actions do not need to be big or difficult. It can simply be a daily walk in the garden, a few stretching exercises, tending to a small patch of flowers, or cooking a simple meal with grandchildren. These small acts awaken the energy that has been sleeping inside you. When the body moves, circulation improves, joints become more flexible, breathing grows deeper, and lingering aches begin to fade. Even more important, your spirit becomes brighter. Finishing a small task gives you a sense of accomplishment, a reminder that you are still capable, and with that realization, your confidence returns. Day by day, you begin to see that you are not weaker as you once thought, but in fact stronger than the version of yourself from yesterday. Your heart, instead of being trapped in fear of aging, is freed and feels young again, because joy comes from movement, from the happiness of creating something with your own hands. Life after 50 is not the end. It is a new chapter waiting to be written, and that chapter can be filled with color if you choose to act, if you choose to step away from the old chair of resignation and begin building again. Age is not a barrier, it is only a number. What truly determines whether you are young or old is how you live each day. If you still dare to dream and still dare to act, your body will grow stronger, your mind will become clearer, and your heart will remain forever young. You don't need to build an entire workshop to prove that you are still capable, because often what keeps you young and full of life lies in the simplest acts of daily living. It might be planting a small garden behind your home, where you place each seed, care for every leaf, and watch them grow each day as a living reminder that life continues to flourish. Every time you touch the soil or breathe in the scent of flowers, your spirit feels calmer and your body lighter. It could also be learning a new skill, perhaps a musical instrument you once loved but never dared to try, or an art form that awakens your inner creativity. Each note you play, each line you draw, or each page you write brings freshness to your mind and reminds you that your brain is still eager to learn and still hungry to explore. You might also join charitable activities, giving some of your time and energy to those who need it most. The joy of giving will return to you, warming your heart and strengthening your spirit. Do not forget to build simple yet sustainable habits for your health, like walking each morning, keeping a journal to release your emotions, or spending time caring for a pet. Gentle steps under the sunlight, words written to capture your joys and sorrows, or the loyal eyes of a dog can all become powerful sources of motivation, helping you realize how beautiful life truly is. Most importantly, never stop moving forward. Each small action, repeated day after day, will create a powerful change in your body, in your spirit, and in the way you see yourself. You don't need to chase after something grand. All you need is to choose one small, meaningful act, do it wholeheartedly, and as the days pass, you will discover that you are not really growing old at all, but living younger, stronger, and happier than before. If this touched your heart, type the word peace in the comments. If it touched your mind, type clarity. Being 50, 60, or 70 is never the end of life. On the contrary, it can be a precious opportunity for you to open a new chapter, a new page that only you hold the pen to continue writing. Many people believe that once they have passed the midpoint of life, they must stop, slow down, and accept the decline of old age. But the truth is completely different. You do not grow old simply because the years have passed. You grow old when your mind stops dreaming, stops longing, and stops building. Life only truly ends when you abandon the desire to live fully and give up in front of opportunities that are still waiting. Every sunset does not just mark the close of a day. It also reminds you that tomorrow's light will rise again, and you can still walk your own path with confidence and a satisfied smile. Look at your hands. They may carry wrinkles, they may show the marks of time, but those same hands can still plant a new garden, hold a grandchild, write a page in a journal, or build something you have always dreamed of. When you dare to stand up and begin again, you breathe new life into your days, proving that age is not a barrier but only a number. Each confident step, each new decision, no matter how small, becomes proof that you still have strength, still have desire, and still have many years left to write the rest of your story. And now I want to invite you to ask yourself one deep question. What age do you think is too late to start again? Is it 50, 60, or 70? Or is it that there is truly no limit at all except the ones you place in your own mind? I believe that every story, every experience you carry has the power to inspire others. And that is why I encourage you to share your story in the comments. Tell us about the moment you dared to start again, the time you chose to pursue something new, or even the moment you still hesitated but felt your heart longing to live more fully. When you share, you are not only speaking for yourself but also sending out a spark that can warm and encourage those who feel lost. Those who think it is already too late, let the comments become the place where we write new chapters together, where age is no longer a fear but a source of pride, where each person can walk with confidence, smile at the sunset, and believe with certainty that tomorrow always holds space for a brand new beginning.